No one in Medina could have imagined what was about to unfold that fateful morning. The sun had just begun to rise behind the rugged brown hills that watched over the sacred city for centuries. Mount Uhud stood tall and silent, its presence more than just geographical. It was spiritual, historical, and sacred to Muslims around the world. Yet today, something unthinkable was about to happen. An order had been signed. A royal command had been issued. The Saudi king had given the green light to dismantle a section of Mount Uhud for a controversial development project. The reason? Urban expansion. Plans had been drawn up to construct a luxury housing colony, a new helipad, and a royal guest complex on the outskirts of Medina. But to proceed, part of the ancient mountain would need to be cleared. Engineers and workers were flown in quietly. The media was silent. Only those directly involved knew of the decision. Yet, as is the way of fate, whispers travel faster than sound. That morning, dozens of pilgrims stood at the base of Uhud, stunned to see massive excavators being driven toward the revered mountain. One of the men, a fragile elderly pilgrim from Turkey, fell to his knees. With tears streaming down his cheeks, he whispered, "Ya Allah, how can they destroy the mountain that your prophet loved?" Others began filming on their phones, unsure if what they were seeing was real. But it was real, too real. The yellow cat excavator revved its engine and slowly moved forward. The machine, enormous and menacing, stretched its clawed arm towards the side of Mount Uhud. Just 4 seconds into the video, a trembling voice was heard. "It's true. The Saudi king has ordered the demolition of Mount Uhud." The machine struck, and then the unimaginable happened. A deafening thunder erupted, not from the sky, but from within the mountain itself. The ground quaked so violently that the cameraman dropped his phone. Pilgrims screamed, birds scattered in a frenzy, and a blinding light, like a flash of white fire, burst from the rock face that had just been struck. The operator of the excavator was thrown back from his seat as the machine abruptly shut down. Its electrical system fried in an instant. Sparks flew, panic broke out. Security forces ran to evacuate the area, but no one could escape what came next. From the scar where the machine had clawed the mountain, a bright, flame-like aura began to rise. It wasn't fire in the normal sense. Nothing burned, but it glowed with a terrifying intensity. People watched in complete silence as the ethereal glow formed a dome-like shape above the mountain. The air grew still, heavy, almost electric. Then came the sound. Not a voice, not thunder, but something ancient and divine. It was as if the mountain itself was weeping. Among the chaos, someone shouted, "This is a miracle, a sign from Allah." And indeed, it was. For this was no ordinary mountain. Mount Uhud had a soul. The Prophet Muhammad once said, "Uhud is a mountain that loves us, and we love it." Sahih al-Bukhari. It had been more than 1400 years, yet the mountain still remembered. To understand what was truly happening, one must go back in time, to the year 3 AH, 625 CE, to the Battle of Uhud. After their humiliating defeat at Badr, the Quraysh of Makkah regrouped and returned with a mighty army of 3,000 strong, determined to crush the Muslims of Medina. The Prophet consulted his companions and chose to face the enemy outside the city, at the base of Mount Uhud. His army was vastly outnumbered. Just 700 Muslims stood against 3,000 enemies, but they were fueled by faith and courage. The Prophet instructed 50 archers to guard the rear on a small hill and ordered them not to abandon their position under any circumstance. The battle began, and initially, the Muslims gained the upper hand. The Quraysh began to retreat. Victory seemed near, but then a grave mistake was made. Seeing the enemy flee, Many of the archers left their posts to collect the spoils of war. This gave the brilliant Qurayshi commander Khalid bin Walid, then not yet a Muslim, an opportunity to flank the Muslims from behind with his cavalry. Chaos erupted. Muslim ranks broke. Many were killed. Even the Prophet, peace be upon him, himself was injured. His face bled, his tooth was broken, and he fell into a ditch. Rumors spread that he had been martyred. Panic gripped the Muslims, yet the Prophet, peace be upon him, stood again, blood flowing, faith unwavering. Among the fallen was the beloved uncle of the Prophet, Hazrat Hamza, R.A., whose body was horribly mutilated by Hind, wife of Abu Sufyan. The scene was one of pain, loss, and sacrifice, yet Mount Uhud bore witness to it all. Its stones absorbed the blood of the martyrs. Its slopes echoed with the cries of the companions. And now, centuries later, when a king tried to strike this mountain again, it remembered. The mountain reacted not with words, but with a miracle. As dust settled and engineers scrambled to restart their equipment, they noticed something strange on the rock face. An Arabic inscription, naturally formed yet glowing faintly, had appeared. No one had carved it, but it was there, as if written by the hand of fate itself. Allahu Akbar, Allah is the greatest. Journalists, scholars, and geologists were called. Videos went viral. Millions across the globe watched and wept. The footage couldn't be denied. International teams studied the site and declared that the energy surge had no scientific explanation. In a rare public appearance, the Saudi king addressed the nation. His voice shook as he said, "We sought development, but we touched what we should not have. From this day forward, Mount Uhud shall never be touched again." Within 24 hours, all machinery was removed. Armed guards were posted, not to protect the mountain, but to protect people from themselves. The area was sealed off, and Mount Uhud stood once more, untouched, sacred, and victorious. That miracle reminded the world of something we often forget. Faith is not just in books. It lives in the earth. It lives in the places the Prophet, peace be upon him, walked. It lives in the stones that witnessed revelation, and it defends itself when dishonored. Mount Uhud, a mountain that once bled with the Muslims, once again shed its light, not blood, to protect the legacy of Islam. Moral of the story: never underestimate what Allah has sanctified. When we forget our history, the earth remembers it. When we chase greed, divine signs remind us of what truly matters. And when sacred ground is disturbed, miracles happen, not for show, but for awakening hearts. This powerful incident serves as a timeless reminder that sacred places carry divine protection. Mount Uhud is not just a mountain, it is a living symbol of love, sacrifice, and the legacy of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. When human arrogance attempted to erase what Allah honored, the mountain responded, not with collapse, but with a miracle. The fiery glow, the trembling ground, and the mysterious inscription of Allahu Akbar, Allah is the greatest, were not random events. They were signs from the Almighty, warning us that no matter how powerful a ruler may be, no one can touch what is sanctified by Allah without consequence. This story teaches us to protect our religious history, to honor the symbols of our faith, and to remember that the natural world itself can rise to defend the message of Islam. In an age where many forget the sacred, Mount Uhud stood firm, shouting a silent message to the world. I remember. Do you? O Allah, I ask you for success in every matter, guidance in every path, and blessings in every provision. O Allah, make me among those whose efforts you accept, whose prayers you answer, and whose deeds you reward. O Allah, open for me the doors of your mercy, and ease for me the paths of happiness and prosperity. Remove from me the burdens of this world and the worries of the hereafter. O Allah, grant me beneficial knowledge, abundant and lawful sustenance, a heart full of humility, and deeds that are accepted by you. O Allah, grant me strength when I am weak, patience when I am tested, and gratitude when I am blessed. Make me content with what you have given me, and always yearning for what draws me closer to you.